They're ready and they're away. Imperial College on the right-hand side. Berkeley on the left. And it's a strong start by the Americans. It's seemingly stroke for stroke, but if anything, I'd say the Americans look as if they've got it at a higher rate.
Yeah, but definitely, and both these crews, they're talking on the water because no whooping and hollering, that start, that silent, and then that absolute power of both these eights going off, and it is the Californians. They've had a fantastic start, and I think we'll see them just up on the Imperial College boat, but, you know, it's all about the rhythm now, Jonathan. This is going to be a long race. There's going to be a lot of support for IC as we know it. Let's see what happens in the next few minutes.
Big occasion this for Imperial College. First time they've had an 8 for a while. And in fact, talking to various members of the club, they feel this is possibly their strongest student 8 for a long time. Second fastest British University 8 of 2016. But at the moment, it's the visitors from the USA who are setting the pace almost in clear water now. It's a good, strong start, and it's probably more than that, they've carried the momentum. They've maybe kept their rating just a little bit higher, and as we know, the crews will all have their tactics, their game plan, but maybe they needed to change it. Let's break them early on, let's stamp our authority, and then let them do the catching.
Yeah, I think, you know, Imperial, they had an easy race or a good race yesterday, and they knew this was going to be a tough one, and they were talking about that as they came off the water. This was the race they were going to prepare for. You know, they knew that when they came out, that this American 8 is a tough opposition. They were going to have to go out, and I think they will have done what they can to hold on at this stage and keep in touch, and they've done that. They're in a good rhythm now, but the Californian boat, they're on the top of the screen as we're looking at, with the big C's on their front, the blazer, the yellow and the blue. They're moving really well. They're using their backs into this headwind, which every athlete will be able to feel, especially the bowman closest to us, and they're making a very good fist of this.
Yes, it is just over 2,000 metres, but it probably feels like about 3,000 metres. And in fact, if anything, I think the umpire could be busy soon, because Cal Berkeley are moving across from their station on the right-hand side of the screen as we look in the blue and gold. And although they do have an advantage, is that necessarily how the umpire is going to see it in terms of the puddles of water, the wash that's going down towards Imperial College? So far, the umpire is unmoved, and Berkeley have been allowed to proceed, having moved away from being particularly close, and not quite flush, obviously, with the boom, but the boys down their side, the right-hand side, or now the left-hand side as we look. But they are certainly more midstream than they should be. And if you were the umpire, would you be having a quiet word? You're smiling there.
Well, you know, as you know, the umpire is complete control, and what I know of the umpire who stands behind there, he is a very experienced guy, so he'll be watching carefully what happens here, so I'm not going to be drawn on that. But, you know, I think this is quite interesting. If you look at the boat in front, their rhythm is a very powerful one, a very punchy one. Look at IC, they're just a little bit longer at the front, and they're moving the boat. I'm not sure this race is over. They are rowing in the right way to stay in the race.
Well, I think I was going to say that, in the sense that at one stage they definitely got clear water and were moving away. But if anything, IC have managed to hold, and they are still in touch, and there is still some way to go. And if they can keep that rhythm and just have that sense through the cocks, Chris Orr, that they have a chance, that this is far from over. However much it's beginning to hurt, however much they realise they're going to have to step it up again, that there is still a chance. And this is where we may see a word for the American crew to move slightly to their left as we look. Because if IC do start to come through, there isn't currently room, I don't think, for the two sets of blades without some sort of collision or clashing.
Yeah, if you look, both the crews, they've come away from the booms. They want to stay safe, but that Cal boat, he probably heard you right then. He has just moved over. You can see that little S, if you like, in the wash behind him. That's where the rudders come on, and actually, that's like a little bit of a break. It does slow the boat down slightly every time the coxswain does that. So he'll have to be very careful with that, but I'm not sure whether this is mindful or you're just making sure. These booms, we saw them yesterday. If you are to clip a blade, then that's pretty much your race over. And so as a coxswain, you're looking forward and you're really making sure that you're keeping your guys safe. But you're right, Jonathan, those blades aren't far apart as the icy boat holds on.
As the sun disappears and the clouds gather again, you can tell that as the water surface becomes flat, not reflective, and also you can see a lot more bobbly on the water surface, so the wind has certainly picked up, and that flag just outside our commentary position is absolutely stair-rod straight now, and it's a much tougher proposition. It's not so much a crosswind now, but it's a very strong headwind, and that's what Cal are having to take on. Likewise, IC. Now, they've got the advantage, have the American crew, but they're going to have to keep it at this rate with IC. Maybe they've got a little bit more work than we thought originally, but they've got to strike their best stroke now, because the race is getting shorter all the time. Time is running out for the university crew from the tideway.
Yeah, absolutely, and look at that. You can see exactly how much each one of these 16 men are pushing their boat, and they are. This is the time to go for it, isn't it? You've just got to go. You've got the crowds there. They'll be cheering for you. This is your final. If you don't get through, you're out tomorrow. But it's so tight there. But this Californian boat, they're using their strength there. They're using their backs and their legs against this headwind, as you see. And I think at the moment they're going to stay too strong for the icy boat to proceed.
Average weight for the American boat, 640.5 stone, 30.5 for the London one. That making that extra weight and strength and power tell. Really reaching for it now. They've just picked it up a little. The power of adrenaline from the applause from the enclosures. Lunch is finished, now racing, and this has been a strong show of strength from the University of California. They're coming through to the finish, and they have taken this Temple Challenge Cup, and they are through in their heat. Clear water over Imperial College London, their top crew.
And there they are, they're giving those cheers, and the University of California, Berkeley, they really did use that strength through that bigger guys, and you can see how hard they had to work. Imperial College, I think they've put a great race together. They can be proud, but they're not proceeding.